welcome back to Serendipity. Today I thought I'd show you guys a few things that are going on in the garden. First of all, I lost my apple tree. Here I used to have a golden Dorset apple, and I thought I had fire blight for a while because it just became really dried up. It didn't look well. I tried covering it in shade cloth, which you can see is flying off now, and it just kept getting crispier and crispier. So I finally came in here to check, and it was dead. I know it kind of looks like there might be some green on camera, like as I'm looking through it, but in person it's just all brown. So I cut it all the way down to here. I'm just gonna leave it in there. I'm gonna keep watering. Who knows, maybe something will happen with this little 1.5 inch worth of scion. I doubt it though. Come winter, I'm gonna look for another apple tree of the same variety, a golden Dorset apple. Losing my apple tree felt horrible, but it was also my daughter's favorite, and she cried when I told her, which made me feel even worse. Here is my Anna apple, which was doing so great not too long ago. However, I made the big mistake of cutting back the watering. They're set up on drip to 4 minutes a day. That's nothing, especially since we've been having really windy and dry weather. So I've been watering them by hand for the past 2 or 3 days. As you can see, this one still has a lot of growth, but you can tell that they were very underwatered by the leaves. Look at these leaves, they're just completely dry and crunchy. But the good thing is that it's still putting on new growth and it can still be saved. I just need to make sure to keep it properly moisturized, hydrated. The same thing was happening to my plum tree, my Santa Ana plum. I don't really know what I was thinking. I guess because I was overwatering my citrus for a while there, I assumed I might be overwatering all of my other fruit trees, and as you can see here, that's not the case. The same thing started happening where they started getting really dry and crunchy leaves. They're putting out new growth still, which is a really good sign. But again, I can't do that, you know? Especially right now when we're still going through a heat wave and it's literally like over 100, well over 100 degrees, like 106, 109, 111 degrees. And I'm over here giving them 4 minutes of water. One thing I did want to show you is my fruit punch mango. In the last vlog, you guys saw that the nodes are starting to swell, but look at them now. So many new leaves are starting to come out, so many small little branches. Mangoes grow so well here, and I'm so glad that this one's doing okay. Unlike a lot of my other fruit trees, which should be thriving a lot more than this one is. It's still really hot, but I want to show you something really exciting. These are my banana plants, and they're beautiful, but this is what I'm really excited to see. We have pups starting to form. We have 3 on this one. This is the Goldfinger, and we have, I believe 2 on this one, which is my Manzano banana. So I, of course, am not going to keep all of them. I'm only going to allow 2 per plant, just so that they don't suck all of the nutrients and energy, and that way these are able to fruit soon. I mean, I know it's still going to be a little while, but that way they're able to fruit, and then I'll cut them down afterwards and then keep one of the pups to replace it. In the meantime, I have my pruners, and I'm going to cut down these sunflowers. They still have some heads on them, but for the most part, they're really spent. They are just taking up space. I want to make sure to clear things out once they're done. That way I can make room for some other plants. And it does suck to see them go, but it's going to be for the best. I've got my pruners. This one was completely dried up. I'm left with all of these sunflower stalks, so I cut them all the way down to the ground. I don't yank them out, that way they can break down and continue to add life to the soil. So I'm going to do that now. Look at these stalks. They're pretty thick and a little bit difficult to cut through, but not as difficult as the mammoth sunflowers. The stalks on those were so thick, I had to use a miter saw. I plan to come in tomorrow to collect some of these blooms because I want to save some of these seeds. Some of them have already started dropping their seeds. Look at this. This is what I want. Sometimes I'll just take them, toss them back into the garden beds. But I want to have enough to share with my family and have some for next year. It's crazy how many seeds one sunflower head produces, and this one's pretty small. I also want to come in here and clear out some of these old vines. This one was a melon vine. I got some production out of it. It's done for the season and it's ready to come out. So let's do that right now. I try to find the base, which happens to be right here, cut it down to the ground, and then the rest of the vines can just sort of be pulled out. If they're really stuck on there, I'll just cut them off, but they're really easy to remove. There you go. That looks so much better already. So now I'm coming in here. What are these? Oh, I still have some green onions left over. I'm gonna let them be for now. I keep freaking out thinking that they're, look. I keep freaking out thinking that they're some of the hay, but they're not. And now this portion of the trellis is open and ready for some new vines for the fall. What did I do to this? You guys, do you remember how beautiful my Aunt Molly's ground cherry looked? What did I do? Oh, shoot. Okay, I think I know what I did. So a few days ago, I was clearing out some other plants for this little TikTok video that I was doing, and I must have cut the stem for my Aunt Molly's ground cherry when I was trying to clean out some of the older vines. So, happens sometimes. Sucks, but that's life. This right here is a Roma tomato transplant that is not doing so great. We've been having some really hot weather, really dry weather, and all of my plants seem to be suffering. And I know here in Arizona we are able to plant tomatoes up through the 15th, so that's what I did. Unfortunately, I lost several transplants. I still have a few that made it. Let me go show you. These over here, I know still look really sad, but they're doing a lot better than all of the other ones on the other side of the yard. And I don't know how the heck they're still putting out tomatoes. But the only reason that these are not burnt to a crisp, even though they kind of do look like it, is because they're on the east side of the house. Let me show you. Look, here's another one. And these happen to be, this one's the Rio Grande Tomato. These are actually the varieties that I wasn't entirely in love with, that I still wanted to try and grow, but I didn't know whether they would take or not, and whether there would even be enough time for them to set fruit and for it to ripen. So I just put them over on this side of the house, thinking I'd forget about them, and they're the only ones that are really thriving. Because if you look over here, I set up a shade cloth way too late after I transplanted some of my favorite, well, I shouldn't say favorite because I haven't tried them yet, but the ones that I was the most excited to try, which happened to be my sun gold tomatoes. This one still has some green on the stem, so it might just make it if I keep watering it and keep babying it. But here's one of the other ones, and it's basically gone. I only had maybe 2 or 3 sun gold tomato transplants, and it looks like I might not get to try them this year, so I'm just taking my losses and moving forward. What I think is crazy is that I'm so used to buying produce from the store that sometimes when the garden is producing something that I'm used to buying, I still buy a couple, and I don't know why I do it, because sometimes they're not even in season. These are nice and crunchy, they're not bitter at all, and it produces enough for me to make different meals out of them. But just yesterday I went to the store, I picked up a few cucumbers, and they smell so bitter. I know they're not going to be good. I know they're not in season, and yet I still bought them, even though I have some perfectly good ones here in the garden. And that's something that I need to get used to. It's just that last year, because I didn't get anything out of the garden, I'm kind of in that same mindset, you know, that I don't have it at home, when clearly I do. Here's something else that I really messed up on. So the last Kajari melon that I picked was really nice and sweet, but it had split on me. It didn't split too bad, but this one wasn't fully ripe yet, and I thought, that's fine, I'm gonna keep my eye on this one and I'm not gonna let it split. I kept looking around the sides and I was like, yep, it's sweet, great. However, this morning I came out here and looked at the bottom and it split. So I'm just gonna bring it inside, share it with my family, and it'll taste good regardless. It's just not so pretty anymore. All right, so I'm gonna cut it right now. Split again. Here's what it looks like, but don't worry, I have another one which will probably also split. It's right here. It hasn't fully turned orange yet. It's barely starting to get like a little hint of orange on it, so I'm gonna keep my eye on that one. But I'm not gonna make any promises this time, because the last few times that I said I wasn't gonna let them split, this happened. I also have this melon right here, oh, which just came off the vine. So I hope it's ready. I guess we'll just take it indoors and find out. All right guys, so I'm gonna head inside with my little harvest, but I'll see you in my next video.